So what exactly is MCP? It just seems like everybody is talking about it, but it's not very intuitive to understand what it is and why do we need to use it. So I went ahead and spent, about 100 hours in the past couple of weeks trying to understand what exactly MCP is and how to use it. So by the official definition, MCP stands for Model Context Protocols. And it's an open protocol that standardizes how applications provide context to LLMs. Now, it still seems pretty lofty of a definition there. So for me to understand it, I need to know what are the possible use scenarios and what are the benefits after I use them. And then after watching tons of videos and reading blogs online and using MCPs myself, after 100 hours, this is what I think very helpful for me to understand what MCP is and can guide me through choosing what kind of MCPs I need to use. So in the past, if you wanted your AI assistant like ChatGPT to do more than just chat with you, you wanted to pull data from a database or automate tasks on your computer, such as you may want your AI to just create a document or move a document to a new folder, things like that. You had to manually walk it through every step. So basically you were the supervisor telling it what to do and when to do it. But now with MCP servers, that changes. So think of MCP as a training program for your AI assistant. It connects the AI to external tools, files, and APIs. Basically, it hands your assistant a toolbox and teaches it how to use each tool properly. It can intelligently and dynamically choose which tool to use. So instead of babysitting it, you just hire an assistant who already has professional certifications, like Database Access Level 2 or Accounting 101, things like that. And even better, you get to define what training it goes through. So ask yourself, if you had the choice between an AI that shows up trained and job ready versus one you need to micromanage, which one would you hire? So that's why learning how to use MCPs matters. It's how you level up your AI workforce. It could potentially save you tons of time without worrying about hallucinations happening. Now, in today's video, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. Without further ado, let's dive in. So in order to use MCPs, we need to make sure we have two things. Number one is an MCP client. There are many popular choices such as Cursor and VS Code plus Client, which is an open source version of Cursor, or you could just use Cloud Desktop app. In this video, I'm going to use Cursor. And if you've never used Cursor before, you can check out this video here, which will guide you through the installing process. Now, the second thing we need is Node.js. Most MCP servers are built in the Node.js language. And quickly install Node.js. You can just type Node.js in Google and click on Node.js and download it. Install Node.js, you can click on Download in the menu bar, and there are two ways to install Node.js. If you're comfortable with using your terminal, you can easily copy this code. Just click on Copy to Clipboard and paste it in your terminal and run it, and it'll be really straightforward. Alternatively, you can click here to download a installer. And after you download installer, just follow the instructions, click on Continue, and install. Now we have Cursor opened. And you see on the right side, there is a chat window. And make sure you select agent mode, because agent mode is the only mode that can allow you to use MCP. And for models, you can select anyone. And Gemini 2.5 is pretty good. And of course, you can select Cloud 3.7 if you want. Now we have to go to in Cursor settings. And under Cursor settings, there is MCP. So click on it. Now, there's nothing here because we haven't added any MCP server yet. So in order to add any MCP server, we just need to click on Add New Global MCP Servers. All right, so now you might ask, where do we find MCP servers? Now we can go to this website called Smithery.ai to find out what are some most popular MCPs we can install. I usually go straight to Popular and View All. You see the number one most popular one is called Desktop Commander. So let's look at this. Some of the MCPs would require you to have an API key. In that case, it's much easier to have a Smithery account connected with your GitHub account. Or you can create a Smithery account on its own. I'm going to log in with my GitHub account. So for example, this Desktop Commander MCP has the following tools. It has 20 tools for us to use. And in order to install this MCP server on your Cursor client, you can go to here under Install, and you select Cursor. Now, you can choose to install it using npx, or you can click on JSON, and then make sure to select your operating system. And for me, it's Mac. And if you're using a Windows system, just click on Windows. Important thing is we wanted to copy this code here. Let's just copy, and then let's go back here. Important thing is we want to delete everything here, and then just copy over what we had from Smithery.ai. All right. And now I like to do Command plus S. And then you move on to click on Cursor Settings. It usually takes a little while for it to function. When it's ready to be used, this red dot will turn into a green dot. Well, let's go to the Smithery website. Now, I usually wanted to go directly to their GitHub page, so I click on the GitHub icon here. Then you just scroll down here, and if you have never used GitHub, don't feel overwhelmed. Just scroll down, read the descriptions from developers to understand what this MCP can do. You don't need to understand everything, but it's good to know what you can use your natural language, which means English, to communicate with your large language models and ask your large language models to do certain tasks for you. Now, I usually go straight to the JSON file manual, the JSON file here, and then I copy over here. Then I go back to Cursor, and then I copy over, Command S. All right, so then we move on to Cursor Settings. So look, if you see a green dot before AP, that means it's ready to be used. Otherwise, if you see a red dot or yellow dot, you could try to wait for a few seconds or click on the refresh button here. It usually will be ready within a couple of seconds. All right, so I have selected the Cloud 3.7 Sonnet model, and you can feel free to try different models. And again, if you have some heavy coding to do, then Cloud 3.7 Sonnet is your best partner. And for some basic MCP tasks, such as something I'm going to try next, I don't think it matters that much because with MCP server, it's like we're trying to feed a detailed manual with instructions on how to use each and every one of the tools included in this box to the large language model. So there's much smaller room for it to hallucinate and make mistakes. What should be our first test? How about we ask it to create a markdown file on my desktop? Let's see if it can accomplish it. Create a nodes.md file in my desktop folder and include the following tags in this file. How about today's going to be great? And all right, now it intelligently knows to call the MCP tool. Click on Run Tool, and now it's using the Write File tool. And it says I've created notes.md file on your desktop with the text today is going to be great. Let's go to my, all right, cool. There's a notes.md file. Let's open it. Voila, today's going to be great. Right, let's try another MCP server. Now, the second one I want to try is the DuckGo search server. This enables web search capabilities through DuckGo and fetch and parse web page content intelligently for enhanced interaction. So let's give it a go to see if it can grab web page content smartly. Now still, I want to directly go to their GitHub page by clicking on the GitHub icon here. Scroll down, try to understand the developer's descriptions. And I'm just going to copy over here. And let's go back to cursor. And we just want to do comma and copy paste. All right, and let's go back to cursor settings. It says client close. Don't worry, let's just ask cursor. Please check why the DDG search MCP is not working. Oh, we found the problem. The UVX command is not found in my system. On tool. So it turned out I made a mistake. See, I directly copy and paste here and didn't notice that it's using UVX, but with cursor, I want to use MPX. So then I went to cursor and copy and paste the error messages here. And I asked cursor to modify the code from MVX to MPX. Then here we are. This is what we have. After I corrected the code with the MPX method, and see the DuckDuckGo search MCP is ready with the green dot here. Perfect. Now you see what's most interesting is we first installed the desktop commander MCP, and then I ran into an issue while installing the new DuckDuckGo search MCP, and then cursor with Cloud 3.7 agent immediately know how to use the first MCP desktop commander to help solve my issues that I ran in when trying to install the DDG search MCP. Perfect. All right, now we have 2 MCP installed. What will be an interesting task to ask our agent to do with the DDG search function? How about please go to newtimes.com and find out the top 10 news titles. I need to confirm. Now it's calling MCP tool.go. See, it's really smart. I don't have to tell the agent specifically to use which MCP. So pretty cool. 10 news titles. President Trump announces truce between India and Pakistan. Okay, so today we try to understand what MCP is and why do we want to use it and where to find it. And we learned how to install 2 MCPs. One is the desktop commander, the other is a web search MCP called DuckDuckGo. And I hope you find today's video interesting and useful. And please like and subscribe. I do hope you can try experiment with different MCPs on your own and share your feedback down in the comment section below. So see you in the next video.